Hi everyone, we are going to make an area of parallelograms anchor chart. So this will go into your math notebook. So just go ahead and find a blank piece of paper or blank lined paper, a couple of either pencils, markers, colored pencils, crayons, whatever you can use to kind of color code this a little bit. So you'll want a nice title, Area of Parallelograms, up at the top. And then we have a definition of what is a parallelogram. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, quad means four, so four-sided figure with two sets of parallel lines of the same length. So this side is the same measurement as this side, and that is denoted with this little line. And it's also parallel, right? They'll never intersect, just like train tracks. And then the top is parallel to the bottom and the same measurement. And again, that's what these two little lines mean, that this side is the same as that side. This one only has one and that one only has one because that's the same as that, okay? Of course, here's the base, here's the height. Notice the height, it almost looks just like a letter H with that little 90-degree box. Okay, so here's the base and the height. Anytime you're given this measurement or this measurement when finding the area, it's unnecessary information, it's extra info. So you can just sort of ignore it. You typically will never need it unless you're trying to find something else. But for area, we just need the base and the height. Also, it's important to note, just because this is the bottom, doesn't mean that you can't use this measurement. Let's say you're given this is 12, okay, 12 inches, 12 centimeters, whatever. This is also 12. So you can use that because you could always just rotate the parallelogram and it would all of a sudden become the base and the height, okay? So area of a parallelogram can be found by multiplying the base times the height. B is for base and H is for height. Here are our steps. Step 1, identify the base and the height. Again, that is because sometimes and often you will be given unnecessary information. You'll be given this side length and you don't need that to find the area of a parallelogram. So step 1, identify the base and the height. Step 2, plug the values in for the equation or for the area. And step 3 is to solve. So let's look at an example. You're going to have two examples of just regular area here. All right, so example 1, find the area of the parallelogram. Again, step 1, identify the base is 8. Identify the height is 5. We know the height is 5 because we have a 90-degree angle right here. Goes down here to right here. That's our 90-degree angle, okay? So it needs to be perpendicular, right? So we have a height that is perpendicular to the base. This is perpendicular to the base. That is what provides us with a 90-degree angle. So now we are substituting. So area is base times height. We substitute in the 8 for the base, the 5 for the height, and we do 8 times 5, which is 40. So the area of this parallelogram is 40 inches square. Now we have example 2 here. Find the area of the parallelogram. Now we have just a basic rectangle, so you want to draw yourself a basic rectangle. Okay, maybe after you finish watching this video, you can color it in or make it stand out a little bit. A rectangle is a parallelogram. Not all parallelograms are rectangles. So difference here is a rectangle needs to have 4 90-degree angles. So I could draw in a little 90-degree angle for each of these 4 corners of that rectangle. So the base here is 20, the height is 12, so we are just doing 20 times 12, which is 240 feet squared. I'm going to give you one more example. This is how to find the area of a parallelogram when we have a missing length. Okay, so this is one more example. This is when we have a missing dimension or a missing length, all right? So here we need to find the height of the parallelogram when the area is 150 centimeters squared. So we are given that the base is 15 centimeters. We don't know what the height is, so it is denoted with the letter H, a variable. We go through the same steps, all right? We know the area is 150 centimeters squared. We know the base is 15. Go to your formula. Area is equal to base times height. 150 is equal to 15 times H. Substitute. 150 is equal to 15 times H. We need to divide by 15 on both sides to get the H all by itself. Just like one-step equations, we do the opposite or the inverse to solve. We need to isolate the variable. In this case, it's the height. We're solving for the height. So 150 divided by 15 is 10. The height of this parallelogram is 10 centimeters. Obviously, if we went back and substituted and checked it, we would substitute in the 10 here for the height and do 15 times 10, which is 150, and 150 would be equal to 150. One last thing I forgot to mention on this example. For the rectangle, area is also length times width for a rectangle, okay? So length, width, the reason why we can use length and width on a rectangle and not just base times height, we use both, they're just interchangeable, is because a rectangle naturally has 4 right angles, okay? So the width is the height. If we rotated it, right, if you spun it, look, base, height, or width and length, it doesn't matter, okay? They're interchangeable. So that's it. Make sure that you watch the con videos and do the con exercises for today. Thank you.